So guys, let's talk about one of the most greatest, most rugged, gallant crack fighter to ever exist in the Nigerian military, Lieutenant Colonel Abu Ali, Sarkin Yaki, warrior chief, god of war. These are not just titles, these are not just names. He earned it. He was a fighter, and he quite a fighter. See, Oga Abu Ali is one officer that thousands of soldiers see him as a mentor, as a role model. Officers like him are rare. Not that they don't exist, they are rare. There's something about him that is unique and different. If you see him calm, I've seen him just once, I've never worked with him. He doesn't talk, quiet but dangerous to the enemy. Very, very dangerous to the enemy. You see, just like soldiers always say, my rifle is my wife, to Oga Abu Ali, his tank is his wife. His T-72 is his wife. That's his tank. He's always in his tank. And when they say somebody is talented, when it comes to tanks, he's talented. Leave him for him. Now, Oga Abu Ali was an armor officer, an armor personnel. He was the commanding officer of 272 Task Force Tank Battalion. He was good. Soldiers loved him. I'm telling you this because I've heard so many things about him. This is an officer that captured Gwoza. This is an officer that captured Mungunu. This is an officer that captured Bama. This is an officer that captured Baga. Do you know what it takes to lead an attack, to capture a community that is under the rule of Boko Haram? Do you know the level of fight you will fight to recapture a town? And do you know the most gallant thing about him that I can think of? He leads, not from the rear. His tank is the first. You see that word I always use, sacrificial lamb? His tank, they did first. As the commander, he leads men to battle, not from the rear, not from the back. I'm emphasizing on not from the rear for a particular reason, because not all officers can do that. Most officers will command from the back. Most officers will command from the back. Now, after he captured Baga, because Boko Haram captured Baga in 2015, right? And Baga is a very, very big town. A very big town with a lot of population. He was the one that led troops to capture Baga. And after the recapture of Baga, that was when the Chief of Army Staff, Oga Buratai, came to Maiduguri and promoted him direct from presidency. Promoted him from major to lieutenant colonel. Soldiers were happy. Most of you must have seen the video. Soldiers were happy. I said, for you to ginger, for soldiers to love you to that extent as an officer, there is something about you. For soldiers carried him up, were jubilating. Soldiers were even saying they should promote him from major to colonel instead of from major to lieutenant colonel. He wasn't due for lieutenant colonel as at then, but he was promoted because of his gallantry. He was a fighter. He was feared by Boko Haram. They had a bounty on his head. And you will always see him with soldiers. You will always see him gisting with soldiers. I am telling you this from both soldiers that have worked with him, their testimonies. He's a good officer and a good fighter. He's a prince. His father also was a major general, was a brigadier general, a retired brigadier general. Oga Abuale was a prince in Basa, Kogi State. Now, the day he died was on 4th of November 2016, when Boko Haram attacked 119 Battalion. Then he said to his soldiers, be alert, be prayerful. That same day, the last word he said to his soldiers, be alert, be prayerful. I don't want to lose any of my men. If I'm to lose anybody today, let it be me. Those were his words to his soldiers. And as usual, he entered his tank. Now, I don't want to say much about what happened, because there's a lot of, people said a lot of things in regards to his, being unalived. But one thing I know for a fact is, if you've created a name that this person, this soldier or this officer is good at what they do in terms of unaliving Boko Haram, fighting Boko Haram, like you are good at it, you've made a name for yourself because you are dealing with these people, their being unalive is always suspicious. The way they will end up buying is always suspicious. Most of the time it will look like this came from a friendly fire. No, I'm not saying anything, and that is why I'm saying that I'm not going to go further into the cause of his, buying, because a lot of things were said, but at the end of the day, it was rude, buying in action. He was a problem, Oga Abuale. He was a problem to Boko Haram. They feared him. According to soldiers that have worked with him, fought alongside him, they said the moment he's inside that tank, he's a machine. Do you know what it means for you to be named Sarkin Yaki? Sarkin Yaki, warrior chief. He was good. A lot of soldiers testified to it. He was too good. Assuming he was alive, he would have been a future chief of army staff. So that night, when they attacked 119 Battalion in Malampatori, he fought, got into his tank. Something made him to come outside. Now, this is a very important, a very sensitive topic right now, and there are things that I cannot say. Something made him to come outside from the tank, and that was when he was shot. And the soldier, it was in the night, so the soldiers said they didn't know he was shot. They didn't realize that on time. And some soldiers said they are not sure if that shot came from the enemy. That is why I said it's very sensitive. It's very sensitive. I've seen a lot of soldiers and officers that the way they died, it's questionable, but who are you to say something? And that's one of the reasons why most officers are scared of, of being too good. Not just officers and soldiers. There's a way you will command a particular unit, and that unit is known for this and that. You will be let's not talk about all that. Let's not talk about all that, because insecurity is too deep that most people will ever understand. Insecurity in any country, not just Nigeria, is deep. Deep. The rabbit hole is too deep that if you begin to say some things, you will end up in places where nobody will ever see you again. There are places in Nigeria that once you go there, nobody will see you again. Best believe it. But Oga Abu Ali was later promoted to the rank of colonel after he was spied. They brought his body from Maiduguri, took it to Abuja, and he was buried there. Now, I really wish I can say the details of this case, but it's too sensitive. It has to do with betrayers. Let me just put it that way. It has to do with betrayers. It has to do with it's the one thing I know for a fact is there are so many soldiers that are good. There are so many officers that are good, dedicated fighters, that if you hear their stories, you will question why their names are not everywhere. Oga Abu Ali should be celebrated at least once a year because he delivered. You know the towns he captured, he led and captured. Now, I'm not saying he did the whole job. There were soldiers with him. I'm saying him being the commanding officer, leading troops from the front, not from the rear. That's a different kind of officer to lead. Now you dey front, that if anything wants to happen, it should happen to you first before your men. When he died, the soldiers of 272 Task Force Tank Battalion were demoralized. They had to rotate them, mix them up with different other soldiers to ginger the morale back, because they could not function because of how much they looked up to Oga Abu Ali. There are certain commanding officers that will buy and soldiers will be happy. That's just the truth. Oga Abu Ali was a different breed. But at the end of the day, I've seen cases like that, whereby people that, let me just tell you the truth. You see this Boko Haram bandit something, it will last for years. It will last for years. There is no stopping it at the moment. There is no stopping it at the moment. Hands that are involved are just too many. Just too many. Different sectors, different office, different people are involved in this thing. It will last for years. But at least we'll celebrate the ones we pull up, the ones who did their best, and the ones that are still doing their best. May the soul of Oga Abu Ali and every other soldiers that died fighting for this country from the depth of their hearts rest in perfect peace. They deserve to be celebrated, not just Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Like, they deserve it. You guys will not understand. They deserve it. They deserve it.